Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I've got here some journaling note cards. They are 4x6 size. Now I've had these in my stash for quite a long time. They're from Pramita. I've been kind of hoarding them, and I'm not really too sure actually why I've been hoarding them, because a lot of them I perhaps wouldn't even use, to be honest. You know, I obviously bought the set online, kind of bought it purely for one or two of the designs, and actually the majority of them I'm like, oh, I'm not sure that I would use them. I mean, like these, for example, I probably wouldn't really use these now, but they are double backed onto the back with this. So I thought, let's come along, let's use this whole pack up and make a ton of journaling cards. So I've got the journaling cards there. I've then got lots of fly sheets. I've got some old envelopes that have been kind of laying around and they're a bit screwed up and things. More fly sheets. This also, I don't know whether you'd describe this as fly sheet, but you know, where it's got kind of picture on one side or pattern on one side and then plain on the other. So I'm going to mount a lot of these journal cards onto these. Now I need to stay a little bit realistic and think, well, probably not going to get all of these done in one video, and then I will come back. So I will spare you the kind of whole process of me just, you know, mounting these onto these. These are thickish. It doesn't have a GSM written on here, but I have to just say these are thickish. So to be fair, many of you perhaps would kind of, you know, just use this as it is. I personally like a really thick journal card. So even though this is probably maybe like 250 GSM, I would prefer to back this onto something else as well, because then it's going to feel really kind of robust to be able to use. So, you know, like I say, you would be able to use these, I think, just on their own. But some of them, obviously, I want to kind of mount them because, like this one, for example, I want to cover up what's on this side so that I can use this side. Okay, so I'm going to just mount a bunch of them. Like I say, I'll do as much as I've got here in the fly sheets and things, and then I'll come back. We'll see how many we've got left to actually get through. And, you know, I'm hoping within 2 or 3 videos we'll have used the entire thing. So I'll be back. Okay, so I'm just quickly doing a quick show to show you what I've done, because some of these bits of paper that I was going to be using to back these onto were kind of too small to efficiently or effectively get 2 journal cards on. So I didn't want to be wasteful and only, for instance, put 1 on here. So what I've done, I've kind of mounted them. So some I'm going to have to cut down smaller. For example, you know, this one, I'm just going to snip along here. And this will have to then be a smaller journal card. This one, obviously, is, you know, it's the whole of it. So just wanted to kind of show you that just before I come back, and then they're all weird and wonderful sizes. I wanted to just kind of, you know, show you. So I've got a few where I'm going to have to do that just to be able to accommodate more of them on the piece of paper. So I'll be back in a minute. I've grabbed myself a quick cup of tea, and yes, I'm back. I have to say that took a lot longer gluing them all down and cutting them all out than I expected. But we've got here a whole bunch of, you know, would-be journaling cards. So I'm going to just get on and decorate some of them. Now, I'm going to just pull out kind of like maybe 3 or 4 at a time, and we're just going to decorate them like this. Now, this one, for example, obviously, again, I don't mind the leaves. I'm not over keen on this. So I'm kind of thinking use the, you know, use the background as is. Ink it up so it looks nice and vintage, and then I will cover up the center, because that's the part that, you know, I'm not really enjoying, but I'm sure that, you know, once that's covered up, I think it will be really fine. So just going to ink around these. Now, I'm an inker. I know not everybody, you know, is an inker, but yeah, I'm an inker. So obviously if you quite like them without the ink, then hey, you could probably just get away with it as it is, but I'm going to ink it up. So I'm going to ink all of these. Now, some of them I've left square corners, as you can see here, but then I've rounded the, you know, the other corners down the bottom. So I've got, again, you know, some different looks and things like that. Now, I might stitch some of these on the sewing machine. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm just going to work with them as they are at the moment. I probably do the stitching, well, I'm not going to make sweeping statements. I was going to say I'll probably do the stitching at the end, but to be honest, who knows, let's just see where this takes us and, you know, what we end up with. So, and as I said before, you know, just a moment ago, obviously these are going to be different sizes because I've had to cut them down to squish them onto the bits of paper that I had. And I just wanted to be, you know, using up those bits of paper really. So some might end up, you know, sort of substantially different in size to others. But I think that's going to be quite nice. And you know, it's fun to have different size bits and bobs, isn't it? Obviously this one's a landscape one, but the others are portrait. Now, brought along some different bits and bobs. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that, you know, who knows, maybe any of these are even going to go, but these are my decorative edge strips. So they're just obviously a printable. So I'm thinking we could, you know, use some of those. So just going to, yep, maybe that one there. Yeah, obviously, you know, I didn't really kind of concentrate too much, you know, I just kind of printed some off and thought, well, let's just go with the flow really. So, you know, it might be that they do go, it might be that they don't go, but we'll just sort of see. So, oh my goodness, that looks lovely, doesn't it? Now, this one I'm not so sure because obviously this is a bit more naturey themed because it's got those birds on it. So I've also got some fussy cuts and things like that. So let's just pull a bunch of those in. Hold on, sorry. As I'm pulling them, they're pulling other things down as well. Right, okay. So I'm sure, yeah, there was daffodil there. So obviously this has got yellow on it. So I did think maybe that, but it's a very muted yellow, and that was obviously a very bright yellow. So not quite so sure that I'm, you know, convinced about that one, to be honest. We could just kind of like mix it up by having another little journal card on there. That's quite cute. Actually, I wonder whether I've got some more yellowy bits. Let's just see. This one. I mean, we could just have that, I guess, in the middle. Or, you know, we could just even just put some sari silk or something like that on this and leave it sort of pretty much as it is. Maybe that would be better for this one. So I'm thinking maybe a run of sari silk either down there or down this edge. Probably down this edge, but that seems a shame because we're cutting off some of the decoration. Oh, decisions. Yeah, maybe just down there. So I'll just quickly do that. Okay. Oops. Just grabbing my hot glue gun. Okay. And we'll just ruffle this up down the, oops, down the edge. Oh my goodness, at this rate my hot glue is going to be all, you know, dried. No longer hot. Okay, so that's quite cute. I wonder whether we've got, oh, look what just happened. I don't know whether you saw that. That label just flicked off the pile of fussy cuts and straight into my cup of tea. I mean, that's the beauty, isn't it, of junk journaling, because that's still usable, because obviously we do tea dye and coffee dye our stuff. Obviously I need to wait for that to dry, but actually it looked quite cute on there. So I'm just going to put that to one side, leave that drying on my hot glue gun, and then I'll be able to use that. So I'm just going to ink around here. Now, obviously, I'm going for bulk here rather than, you know, highly decorated, if you see what I mean. So in order to get lots done, I need to keep the decorating more to a minimum than perhaps I, you know, would like or ordinarily perhaps would. Because otherwise I'm not really going to get through very many of these. So whereas, you know, in my head, I would like to obviously add a whole bunch of other things to this. Because I'm trying to get, you know, a lot done in a short amount of time, I may have to keep the the decoration more to a minimum, really, rather than take too long with the decorating. So just do this one as well. And then we can always go back through and add extra bits and bobs to these. So if I just get sort of a little focal point perhaps glued onto these, and then maybe go back through, we can maybe put some tabs on, or, you know, something like that. So yeah, we'll do these. These are a bit then assembly lining. And I went off pieced obviously straight away with that yellow one, because that was not following this format. But that one was a bit difficult because obviously I wasn't really finding anything to have on there as a focal point. So, you know, I felt like that one kind of, it couldn't really follow this format anyway. Right, let's put in another couple. So now this one, very, very, very tricky, because again, like in this, you know, this gorgeous edge with all the naturey type bits, not loving this bit where it says, you know, let life surprise you. Again, you know, I maybe would have quite liked that when I was doing scrapbooks and things like that. Not so much really for our junk journals. It doesn't seem the type of thing that, you know, we're likely to really kind of want to have or use. So yeah, I'm going to struggle to use that in its current form. So I'm going to have to do something to change that up, definitely. So we'll just go around this one. Okay. These have been backed onto envelope, so just kind of inking it up a bit, but that's why it's obviously this sort of craft colour. This one, isn't this gorgeous? Absolutely love how this one looks. So, I mean, this one I'm not sure, to be honest. I think, you know, I would be happy personally just literally taking this to the sewing machine, stitching around the edge, and then maybe just putting a label on it, or putting, you know, a butterfly or something like that on it. I don't think it really needs, you know, anything else. It's gorgeous as it is. So this one I might just put to one side, just take this to the sewing machine. And funnily enough, I think also the same with these couple. So they, again, feel like just literally taking them to the sewing machine and stitching around them, and then maybe, you know, maybe put in a sari silk ruffle or something after they've been stitched, or, you know, maybe a little label or something. That would actually be, you know, finish those off perfectly, I think. So these ones, I'm just going to keep these ones by for stitching. So they're going to be super simple to finish them off. This one, I haven't rounded the corners, so I'm just going to quickly round those like that. Oops. Didn't make a very good job of that one. Oh my goodness, why don't I get my corner rounder punch? I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but I just seem to like to do things like the difficult way rather than actually reach up and get my punch off the shelf, which is just literally beside me. No, I'll keep cutting and cutting, trying to get a decent looking corner. So this is more fly sheet, but this is slightly glossy, so, you know, that's why you can perhaps hear the squeaking of the, can you hear that? Of the blendy tool beside it, but okay. There we go. So again, stitching just around the edge of these. Right, now these, like I say, I'm going to struggle. Definitely going to struggle. Not sure quite what to put on those. Let's put a fourth one down so that we can just do something else. Ah, I've got these ones. So these ones, obviously, with the butterflies. I do really like the butterflies. I'm not keen, again, on that middle section. So again, just going to round these corners. And then ink this one up. I mean, to be honest, if I liked what it said, or if I liked what was in the middle of it, I would just actually stitch this one as well. But because I'd like to cover that middle bit up, I need to try and find something and be a bit more imaginative with what we're going to do with this. So again, just ink up around the edges. Okie dokie. Right, okay, so I've got three landscape and one portrait there. So Right, let me have a quick sip of my tea. Hold on a second. Okay, so quickly while I finish my tea, I dug out a few things that I thought might work on these. So hopefully quite different looks. So like I say, we're going to get, you know, lots of different sort of looks and things going on. So don't you just love the look of this? I mean, you know, again, very unexpected kind of piece, but my goodness, doesn't that look gorgeous? So I'm going to just pop this on there. It's more or less the same size as the circle that it's covering. Slightly smaller, it's got to be said, but not too bad. So, you know, we're not going to have too much of the circle overhanging, if you can see that. And again, you know, it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to be inspecting these things, so long as it looks, you know, pretty good by the end. That's good enough, really. So isn't that gorgeous on there? And who would have thought that that lovely piece would look good on that leaf wallpaper? Not wallpaper, but, you know, background. And that's just from my oh, what is the word? I always forget what they're called. Oh my goodness, what are they called? Hydrangea? Yeah, hydrangea toppers. I think they're called hydrangeas. For some reason, that's just one of those flowers that every time I go to say it, I'm like, oh, is it those? Can never quite stay in my memory. Anyway, I think it's those. This one, again, unexpected. So these are my little roses kind of note card pieces. I wouldn't have necessarily thought to put that on there with those butterflies, but it actually looks pretty gorgeous, doesn't it? So yeah, really like that. And like I say, I'm going to then come back and we're going to, or not come back, but, you know, we're going to pull these back in a second. And then we'll do some other little bits and bobs, maybe, you know, if they need them. I mean, we might decide that actually, you know what, they look okay just as they are. But we might decide to put some extra bits and pieces on. Just around these corners as well. Just so it looks a little bit better on there. Okay. We can just pop that down there. And again, unexpected sort of piece to use on there. So this is just some book, you know, image from a book. So yeah, let's pop that down. And then the other one that I've got, which is the same design as this, I took one of my frame pieces and I thought that would go really nice on there. So just pop that one down like that. Just spread the glue. Okie dokie. Like that. And then this one, a bit more kind of an obvious choice, I suppose, because it has at least got the, you know, the yellow flowers on there. But I'm actually thinking we might be able to back that onto something as well, just to make a bit more of it. Might think actually it's not really necessary. What do we think? I mean, it looks okay, doesn't it, on there, but it's a bit boring. So yeah, I'm thinking kind of take some of this. Now, let's go there to there. Just tear this off like that. Okay. Okie dokie. And yeah, let's just see how this looks. Yeah, quite like that, to be honest. So just cover that bit up completely. I mean, as it happens, I needn't have bothered inking that, but obviously at the time wasn't sure what I was going to be doing with this. So just quickly pop this one down on here like that. So this is just my totally dotty collection papers. Aren't they just so gorgeous? And oh my goodness, how gorgeous does it look like that? So yeah, these are my frames, which we did do a video, you know, using the frames. It was the launch video for the frames, and we used these beautiful vintage pictures from a, you know, from a vintage book. So they look really pretty, don't they? There we go. Like that. Okay, right, I'm just going to see if that label, you know, that we put to the side, whether that's dry and can go on here now. Yeah. Now, because this is curling up, I might do this with the hot glue, which, you know, sounds like a nonsense, but it's just, it's kind of curling quite a bit, and I don't want it not laying flat. Oh, to be honest, it probably will be okay. It's just like I've tea dyed it, just where it obviously spilt in my tea, or dropped into my tea. I mean, honestly, if I'd have tried to aim it for the tea, of course I would never have managed to get it in there. But because I wasn't, you know, straight away it just goes directly straight to the tea. I mean, what were the odds? Right, let's pull in another 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got a couple of these plainish ones, which they're going to be hopefully really easy to do. I mean, famous last words, because you know, sometimes the ones that you think are going to be easiest actually turn out to be the most difficult. So again, this is that slightly sheeny kind of fly sheet, so just covering that up now with some ink. Okay, this one's not had the corners rounded at all, so I might go back in and round the corners, we'll see. But I'm just, you know, just getting it inked first of all. So like that. Okay. This one, obviously, I have rounded the corners, so this one's no problem. You know, it looks nice anyway. Okie dokie. And here. Okie doke. And the final one. Okay. There, done. Right, there we go. Not sure how many more I've got left to do. Might have a quick look in a second, but you know, they're coming together quite quickly, and obviously, you know, they probably look a bit boring at the moment, but I think by the time that we add some little bits and pieces to them, they're going to look, you know, really nice, to be honest. So right, let's pull in some of these little bits. So I've just got, you know, things that were like laying around really on the desk, so they're not necessarily the best choices, if I'm truthful. You know, I possibly could have got better things, but obviously I was just trying to use what was laying around really. So oh my goodness, that's lovely on there, isn't it? So again, might just kind of put something underneath it, just because obviously it's, I wonder whether I could even mount it on there. It seems a bit of a waste, but you know, because I don't really want to be covering up the, you know, this pretty piece itself. But having said that, it does look quite good on there, doesn't it? So yeah, I might use that. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah, lovely. Right, this one I'm feeling is going to be the tricky one. Yeah. Well, I don't mind that actually. I wonder if I've got one of those music frames, but where I've torn the edges down. Oh, here we go. For some reason, I'm just feeling like a torn one would look better. That's kind of, yeah, perhaps have that one there. What do we think? Quite like it. So yeah, let's just, oh, I've not put anything on here. What a wally. Or perhaps we'll have that on there actually. Oh, I did have as well some more of these. Let's just see. We might, yeah, we might want to use one of these actually. So let's just take this down here. Wonder if we could have this one on there. Not sure. Okay, like that maybe. If I just take that down a little bit. Oops. Oh, making a terrible job of cutting. Yeah, maybe like that. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it, to be honest? Yeah. I'm just going to just check with this one and just make sure that I wouldn't prefer this on somewhere. Because I love this. Oh my goodness, how about there? I'll just take this down. Oh, it doesn't really cover up unless I have it there. Let's just take this down a minute. Could have that there actually. That's quite nice, isn't it? Oh, decisions. It's one of those that looks lovely everywhere. I wonder whether I've got any more of those. Let me just see what other cards I've got here left to do. Notes. That one's upside down. Could have that on there instead. I mean, it doesn't look as good. It's got to be said. Not really looking as good, but it's not too bad, is it? Let's just try this one. Oh, I don't know now. Again, just think, oh, why did I mess about? Because I was kind of quite liking it as it was. And now I've, of course, torn it about and, you know, or, sorry, tried other things. Not torn it about, but tried other things. Now I'm in a quandary. Like thinking, I mean, I could have it that way up. I know then the leaves are sideways instead of lengthways. I don't really think that matters. What if we have her there? She kind of covers up most of it, doesn't she? I was trying to find somewhere to place this, wasn't I? And now I've lost the plot a bit. Hang on a second. Let me just... Why do we try these extra things? And then it's like, oh, what was I actually doing? I've got these ones, which, yeah, these, got this one. Oops. I'll just check, because I don't want to put things on the wrong thing and then regret it and think, oh, I should have put it somewhere else. I mean, actually, that's quite gorgeous on there. Yeah, quite love that on there. Perhaps we'll have this one on there. Yeah, okay. Oh, I wonder if we can have this on here. Yeah, okay, right. So I've got my next bunch sort of laid out as well. So, right, let's just quickly ink a couple of these. Okay. Quickly glue these down. Oh, because I've stopped the camera now several times. I've no clue how we're doing time-wise. So, yeah, I really apologise. I might have to stop the camera in a minute and just add up all the little timepieces for at least an approximate idea of how we're doing, because I don't want to suddenly get to the point that, you know, oh, I've been filming for like an hour and a half already, and then I've still got to, you know, actually decorate the pieces. That would not be great. So, okay. Love how that looks on there. Really, really, really gorgeous. Yeah, very lovely. Oops, don't think it's very straight. Lovely or not, it's not very straight. So yeah, not great. Oh, let's think this. Okay, put that down there. Right. So I think we're doing quite well. You know, I'm not sure. Like I say, I haven't done a count of how many that we did, but I feel like, you know, I used a lot out of that little book. So, and obviously, if you don't have any 4x6 papers, you could use a 6x6 pad and just you know, chop off an inch or whatever either edge. You could use a 12 by 12 and cut them down to, you know, 4 by 6. So yeah, don't kind of feel like, oh, I haven't got any 4 by 4s, I can't do this. You definitely could. And if you don't have any of those, if you've got printables, you could obviously cut down your digital papers to, you know, this sort of size as well. So definitely, you don't have to have a pad of 4 by 6 papers. You know, you can use up all sorts of different paper pads and various things so to make these. So wow, aren't they looking gorgeous? Right, okay, so we've then got the 3 that we did just now, you know, picking the bits for. So just again lay those out, and then let's just do one more. This one, I don't think we've done one of these so far, have we? So again, don't mind the lines, not so keen on this side. So again, just want to sort of cover up really this, you know, I was going to say message, it's not really a message, is it? This sentiment, I suppose you'd call it, on there. So we could have that. It's a bit tall, unfortunately. Which, that just seems a bit of a shame, doesn't it, to use something that's a bit tall. Wonder if we could have her. Let's just see. You know, it's really good if I can use up, you know, bits of the same piece, if you see what I mean, because then I'm not going to end up with tons of scraps left from this project, which otherwise there's a high chance I'm going to end up with lots of scraps, isn't there? So yeah, like that. Didn't mean like that. I meant I like that in that way, in that format. I like that. Yes, it's even as I'm saying it to my own ears, it's like, oh, that's making no more sense. Wonder whether we could just have a little sentiment there just to the side, just because actually might as well use some extra little bits from the paper, I think. So yeah, right, okay, so let's do the mass inking quickly. Again, just, you know, going around very quickly so that these are, you know, super inked, or not necessarily super inked, but, you know, inked quickly anyway. So I don't want to be spending kind of too long inking them up. So if I just do it very quickly, I mean, I'm not making the best job of inking, but again, you know, obviously aged papers and things, you know, vintage, genuine aged papers, I mean, they're not going to have perfect marks, are they? They're going to be possibly screwed up. They're going to be, you know, having marks in places that, you know, aren't kind of perfect spots to have marks. They're going to have irregular shaped marks and what have you. So yeah, again, don't get too stressed if your inking looks a bit of an eyesore. Mine often looks a bit of an eyesore, and I like to tell myself it doesn't matter at all, you know, because that's how genuine vintage markings would be. So hopefully you guys kind of agree vaguely as well with that. Okay. It's turning out a really nice day out there. Yeah. Okie dokie, these couple. Right, it might be that I'm going to have to, you know, decorate these and then just come back and show you the final decorations, because maybe time-wise I'll run out, which would be a shame, to be honest, but... Okay. I don't want them to necessarily have loads of bulky bits. I mean, I know we did put that sari silk on that one, but, you know, they don't necessarily have to be very flamboyant or anything like that. Like I said, the idea is just get through that little pad quite quickly and produce, you know, a ton of pretty quick journal cards. So, you know, it might be that we'll just literally put, I don't know, maybe some, you know, a tab or some sari silk or some ribbon, or, you know, something like that on them, you know, or maybe just a butterfly or something. Not really sure, what's going to finish these off best, but it might just be that actually they don't really need anything very elaborate sort of to finish them off. So, and again, if I put sort of pieces like this on, like say in the center, I do like to put them down really as a pocket. And I've talked about this so many times, you know, just because it's on as a pocket, you don't necessarily then have to use it as a pocket, but you've got then the option. Whereas if you don't put it down as a pocket in the first place, you lose that option. Now this piece I'm going to put down completely, because otherwise I'm going to have just pockets upon pockets upon pockets, which sometimes that can cause extra pressure, because then you're like, oh no, now I've got to find something for that pocket. Oh, now I've got to find something for that pocket, and so on. So, you know, it can get kind of like almost putting extra pressure on yourself to then stuff all the pockets. So, yeah. But just because you've got a pocket doesn't mean you necessarily have to fill it. It's just giving you options, isn't it? So that's another thing worth, you know, worth bearing in mind, is you don't have to use all the pockets that you have. Okay, that one, this one. Oops. Like that. Just put it over to the side slightly so it's not looking just really central or centered. Okay, I thought that just looked a bit more interesting, kind of over to the side a bit. This one, of course, we're putting over to the side because our goal is to cover up that message or sentiment. So I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope you're doing some crafting and having a nice time. Do share below, you know, what you're working on, because it's always quite inspirational to hear, you know, and yeah, gain ideas and things of what you're working on. So there we go. Right, so that's another 4. Bite the dust. So yep, put those out the way. Right, okay, we must be down to not many now, surely. Oh, they're like never ending, aren't they? Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 left to do. So again, we've got a couple of oh no, we've got quite a few landscape. Oh, 4 landscape ones, and a, you know, neutral one. Got a bit grubby there on my desk, but again, doesn't really matter. Right, okay, let's just see whether we could maybe use this anywhere. I mean, I'm just kind of, again, you know, it's on my desk. Let's just see if it works anywhere. It might not. So we shall see. We shall see. Oh, that one's nice there, isn't it? And again, you know, that's not the obvious choice, is it? It, you know, it just looks really nice. So let's just pull in. Okay. Right, okay, so I've then got some of my sewing toppers, which I think would actually look pretty cute on some of these. So I'm thinking maybe just take this, and I might just kiss cut around this little sewing machine. Wondering if I might have this one. Now again, wondering, I was going to fussy tear it, to be honest, but actually I'm going to just kiss cut around it. So yeah, I thought, oh, shall I just tear around it? But yeah, I'm going to just kiss cut around there. Okie dokie. Oops. Dragged that daffodil in again now. Okay. Oh, I stopped just now to reply. That was my mum and dad, the bleeping of the message. And then I forgot still to look at the time, how long I've been filming for. Honestly, get my head if it wasn't screwed on. Okay, so that, just thinking we could even have here that one, or I have got some of my tea collection papers, which these have got lots of gorgeous yummy bits that you can obviously tear out and put on things. So I'm thinking maybe this section here Let me just tear these. Now I will have to re-tear these, if you see what I mean, to get them smaller, but let's just start like that. And then we'll see how they fit. Oh my goodness. I was thinking put this on here, but now I'm thinking put these on here. So yeah, let's just go in and just, oh my goodness, need to be careful not to tear her head off, or just, you know, partially of her face or anything like that. So yeah, I'd be then regretting that. So okay, just gonna get rid of that little bit there. I mean, that's pretty nice on there, isn't it? Unless we do have it on here. Have it down there. Oh, I might have it on there actually. I do really like this on here. So I'm just going to see whether I could have this teapot. I don't know whether it's going to be too big. Maybe this one. So yeah, let's just take this one down. Okay. Oh my goodness, I really am making a terrible job of this, I have to say. Not good at all. Okay, right, let's go in here like that. Okay. Okey-dokey. Just gonna now again check, would I prefer the teapot on the blue? I mean, I don't know. I do like the sewing machine on there, I think. Yeah, perhaps we'll have this down here. So yeah, something like that. Okay, so it looks a strange mix of things that I've taken here, but I think, again, you know, like sort of as the cards have gone on, hopefully I'm getting a little bit braver with what I'm sort of daring to put on them. So yeah, let's just be brave, shall we? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They might turn out looking like a complete eyesore, but they might turn out looking great. And sometimes I think, you know, the more adventurous that you are, and, you know, the things that you use like the least expected, if you see what I mean, actually they're sometimes the things that are then the best things that you produce. So hopefully that's going to be the case here. Right, okay, so mass inking going on now. So yeah, let's ink our bits and pieces. So that's the teapot. Let's just ink the journal card. Okay, so I was going to try and keep the birds and things like that in these, and obviously use them landscape, but to be honest, yeah, maybe that would just make it hard to use. So I'm just going to go with the flow and, you know, tip it up so it's portrait and use it like that instead. So yeah, I'm going to do it like that instead. I think it will turn out lovely, to be honest. So yeah, hopefully it will be the right choice. Who knows? Who knows? It may be completely the wrong choice, but let's just see. Okay. Again, just very quick inking. Okie dokie, and this one. Honestly, I love some of these collection papers. They have fantastic images to be able to use, you know, just tear them out like that from the pages where they've got like quite large fussy images. You know, they're really great to be able to use them as like almost like topper type pieces. Okay, so that one. Oops, did not ink this. What an idiot. Nearly forgot. Okay. Right. Again, just quickly on the back. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, I need to do a count up because I'm not sure how many we've done, but we've done quite a lot. So, you know, although I feel a bit like, oh gosh, I'm really dragging this out. I mean, we have done quite a few. So, yeah, I mean, we must have done, I would have thought getting on for 20, but I might be wrong. You know, which to be honest then, I mean, 20 is awesome, isn't it? So, you know, that's a lot of ready-made journal cards to have to hand. So, and then hopefully, like I say, we'll come back and we will use the remainder of the little 4x6 book. So, you know, that would be really good to get it completely used up. So, I don't very often buy those 4x6. I mean, here in the UK, I mean, to be honest, it's very hard to get hold of craft papers generally, actually, anymore. But, you know, even kind of like back in my scrapbooking days where you did sort of have a few craft shops and things, you know, that you could physically go in, not so often did you see the 4x6 papers. You know, perhaps they didn't present very good value to buy, or, yeah, perhaps they just weren't very popular. I don't know. But didn't that often see them, so I don't know really whether I've got any others. I might have one more pack. I have no idea where, but I feel like I have bought other 4x6 papers at some point, but yeah, I couldn't tell you now, you know, where they are or anything else. So yeah, maybe I'll have to have a look around and see whether I can find them anywhere. There we go. Doesn't that look gorgeous on there? And again, you know, not necessarily the piece that you'd expect, but it looks really lovely, doesn't it? So yeah, let's get that one out of the way. This one, okay. Right, so what I might have to do, like I say, because I'm aware that, you know, perhaps this video is now dragging on, what we might have to do is just decorate maybe one or two together, and then I'll have to decorate the rest in slow time, and then of course I will come back and show you, you know, show you what I've actually done. But yeah, we might not kind of have time to do them all together. So just wondering whether that might look cute behind there. Oh my goodness, doesn't that look lovely? Yeah. Right, let's just tear that down. Oops. Again, just quickly up around. Okay. Okie dokie, like that. Just because otherwise we had a very massive section, didn't we, of just this paper, which, I mean, it's very pretty paper, but it's perhaps a little bit boring to just have such a huge vast area of just that. So just breaking it up here a little bit with the other paper, so like that. Okay, right, looking good there, looking good. Love that one. That's so gorgeous. Okay, last two. So yeah, we've flown through these actually, haven't we? Well, they've flown through. I mean, flown through these last few that we're just quickly doing now. So yeah, that one. Like I say, just covering up where those little birds are. But I quite like the grid paper. It's quite pretty, isn't it? You know, I mean, it's sort of plain but nice. Okay, that one. And then this one. Right, just going to, I was going to say, shall I cut that down a bit? But I think I'll have to go with that as it is. Okay. Right, okay. So we're just bringing a couple and just put some finishing touches on, and then, you know, we can kind of call it quits there. So let's bring in the ones that we've done first, I think. So, oops. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a good bunch, look. I mean, wow. Loads and loads we've done. So, yeah, that's good, isn't it? Right, let's pull in perhaps this one. Perhaps this, whoa, this one. And, oh, should we do this one? Just so we've got a few different looks. And, oh, this one, something like that. Although, to be honest, maybe yeah, let's do that. Okay, so yeah, let's put all of these to one side for a minute. Okay, so we're just going to put a couple of finishing touches. So what I've got actually is I brought along some of my paper ruffles and things. So I've got a few of these. So we could just see whether we could incorporate any, you know, paper ruffles or anything like that anywhere. Oh my goodness, I mean, doesn't that look lovely? So I'm kind of thinking maybe just a bit of black stitching around here. And then just a, you know, paper ruffle somewhere. Just want to make sure I'm putting it in the right place. Yeah, I think probably on there. But like I say, then going around perhaps with some black stitching on here would be quite lovely. Oh my goodness, I nearly dropped that. Honestly, that's when I've burnt my fingers before, is I've dropped it and then I've tried to catch it. And of course then caught it like full on the, you know, the boiling hot burning bit. So yeah, don't ever try and catch it. If you drop it, just let it drop. Oh, that's so gorgeous, isn't it? And to be honest, yeah, I mean, if I have a label, could maybe put a label in there somewhere. Maybe there. Oops. Okay. So, I mean, once that's finished off with the black stitching, that will be so lovely. So yeah, really, really pretty, isn't it? So that's that one. Okay, this one now. Now I'm not necessarily saying, you know, that although that does look quite lovely, doesn't it? I do quite like that. But I also brought along some other bits. So I've got some little stamped, you know, clustery type pieces. So I'll just try out some of these and check whether any of these might look good. I mean, that actually goes pretty nicely on the background paper, but not necessarily with this. So I'm just going to have a look, because we did do that one with the butterflies and then we put the building on, didn't we? It might look quite good on that one. Oh yeah, love that. So yeah, let's put this down. I'm just using my hot glue because, you know, it's quite thick, so I'll just get it glued down straight away. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? What a lovely journal card. That's so nice, isn't it? And then, to be honest, maybe just round the corners slightly. Do I want to round all of them? No, I think probably just leave it like that. So just go around the... Yeah. Isn't that gorgeous? What a lovely journal card. So again, I might stitch around that, to be honest. So I probably will end up, you know, saying I'm going to stitch around most of these if I'm truthful. But, you know, at least we've kind of got them done, and then we can choose whether to do the stitching or not. And then I've got some of my pieces that we decorated with from using the whale tail punch. So just going to see whether any of these might look good on any of these. This is where I have not got any that are quite going to be quite the thing. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? I mean, that one's perhaps okay on here, actually. Yeah, I quite like that one on there. It's quite cute, isn't it? Yep. And then I'm just wondering, I've got a little rosebud that's just here laying around. I wonder whether we could have that anywhere. Oh, it's probably a bit weird, isn't it? Just feel like actually it could do with something else on here as well, but not sure what now. Isn't it annoying when you can't quite think what it is that you need? And I know we say this all the time, but yeah, obviously we've got all these tons and tons of things, but just still never have quite the right thing, which is ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous. Oh, come on. I must have something else here somewhere. Well, this is really annoying, isn't it? That as well, I've got all these tons of bits, but nothing quite, you know, quite the right bits for quite the right piece. I mean, that's quite cute on there, to be fair. Yeah, I quite like that one. Or that one, actually. Although that's lilac, which is weird, isn't it? Because it sort of looks okay because it's got lots of the peachy brownie. But it shouldn't really because it's got the lilac on there. But, you know, I think that actually does look okay. Which is really, really weird, isn't it? Just going to check that we wouldn't prefer any of these little bits and things anywhere. No. Okay. Let me just... Right, let's glue this on then. So, again, I just quite like to just hot glue this like on the front. And then it's sort of positioned to glue the back down, if you see what I mean. So I put the front on and then add some glue to the back. Like that. You can just then meet there. Yeah, I mean, isn't that a lovely, lovely journal card? And it feels really nice and sturdy as well. So, yeah, really, really lovely, isn't it? Very different for me, that one. But, yeah, do really like it. Okay, let's just quickly have a look here and see. I mean, I've just literally pulled in things that, you know, happen to be nearby. So I'm not necessarily saying that these are the right things. You know, they were just things that happened to be kind of near. So I might not really have pulled in the right things at all, as it would appear, which is frustrating. But I mean, that's kind of cute, but I feel like I'm getting a few too many things on there. So yeah, perhaps I will not do that. I do like this paper ruffle. Did I say I quite liked it there? I do quite like it there, but having said that, I should probably really be trying to incorporate a bit more of the pinks and things, shouldn't I? Yeah. Okay. How about if we have this here and then have a big paper ruffle? It's a bit weird, isn't it? Could have it like that, to be honest. That's quite pretty. Yeah, that's quite pretty, I think. Just going to check whether I've got any others. I haven't got many paper ruffles left at the moment, so I need to have a big mass making session, making some more of them really. But like all these things, it's just having time to do it, isn't it? Let me just ink this up and see. See how this will look. Yeah, I mean, that is quite cute, isn't it? I'm just going to check that this one doesn't look... Need to also print off some more butterflies because that's very annoying. I feel like I could definitely do with some butterflies to be using. Yeah, I mean, I do really like this, to be honest. I'm not sure about that paper ruffle or not. I mean, to be honest, I should just glue this down, shouldn't I? And say, oh, for goodness sake, get on with it. Get on with it and stop messing about. Right, let's glue the tab on. Do you know what's happening a little bit? Yeah, you probably guessed it. I'm trying to hoard the tabs. Yeah, the tabs that we made from the whale tail punch. Trying to hoard them. What is wrong with me? Well, they were quite fiddly to make, to be honest. So, you know, in my defence, I feel like they kind of were a bit out of my comfort zone to make them. So, yeah, I'm now sort of not wanting to obviously use them, which is crazy. Definitely crazy behaviour. Oh, I just had another one there, which I could have used. Didn't even think of that. Unless I have a little tab there. That's probably a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, that's an undecorated one anyway. Oh, let's just put this down because otherwise I'm putting it in, taking it off, putting it in, taking it off. Just put it on there. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, nice. Right, okay, so the ones that we have decorated are these, obviously. I will decorate the others because, you know, obviously I said that I would. But yeah, I probably haven't got time now. So we've done 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So I said hopefully it's, you know, around 20 at least. So not too bad really. Like I say, I'm going to decorate some in slow time. I'm going to stitch some around on the sewing machine and things, and then I will try and come back and show you them stitched. So I don't know whether that will be, you know, tagged onto this video or not, but yeah, really hope that you like them. Hope you feel inspired to use up some of your old paper pads. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much then. Bye. Right, I'm back. So just quickly before we finish the video, these are the finished journal cards. So I've got this one I just stitched around the edge. I put a little tab on there. This one I've popped some sari silk on, a vintage postage stamp, and just a little rose, you know, bunch of roses there. This one I've popped one of my stitched paper clusters on there and a label, and obviously stitched around the edge. Got this one again stitched around the edge. Just stapled this little piece of vellum on there and a little bit of sari silk. I mean, these are mainly just kind of scraps and things that were laying around on my desk that I've used to decorate these up. This one, I can't remember. I think we did this actually together. Sorry, I'm filming this 2 days later. So this one, obviously we popped this on. I've stitched around the edge. This one, again, stitched around the edge. And then I've just stapled on some sari silk as a tab. This one, again, I think we did do this together, and we popped on one of my, you know, stitched paper clusters on there. And again, just stitched around the edge. I have to say, I think this one's my favourite one out of all of the journal cards that I did. This one I just again popped on a stitched paper cluster and stitched around the edge. This one here I just popped on a butterfly, stitched around the edge and stapled on some sari silk. This one, which I actually found under the pile of bits and pieces, so I've missed this one. I've cut it down because it was, you know, overhanging the paper kind of thing, so I've had to cut it down. Just popped on a typewriter there and one of my labels. This one again, I've popped on a fabric, a paper ruffle, and this parapluie, well, I'm not sure whether you pronounce it like that, but from my umbrellas printables, and one of my butterfly printables there. This one again, just added a couple of roses and some paper ruffled, sari silk ruffled down the side. This one again, I just added on this extra label, so really gorgeous, kept it simple. This one I just added on one of my little rosebuds from my Junk Journal Basics Kit 2 and some lace, and then just again kept it simple. This one added a paper ruffle down the side, and obviously we had this. This one we did together. I didn't do anything else to that. This one I've just popped some sari silk down the edge there, ruffled it up, and it just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? This one I added a butterfly and then a bit of sari silk. This one here I've added a flower, the word notes, and sari silk across the top. Oh, excuse me, hold on a second. Oh, sorry about that. So yes, that one. Then this one, I have to say, actually, this one's probably my other favourite. So I said it was this one, didn't I? Obviously, I'm loving this butterfly background. It's really, really nice because these are my two favourites. But yeah, they're really lovely, aren't they? So again, sorry, I didn't actually say what I've done. Put another one of my stitched clusters, stitched around the edge, and then just again stapled on some sari silk. This one I just ruffled some sari silk at the top, popped a couple of roses on and a bow. This from my tea collection papers. That looks really cute and pretty. Oh, I do like this one as well, actually. So this is just one of my decorative edge strips, some bits from there, a couple of purple flowers, and then one of my whale tail punched tabs. This one obviously we did together, as we did this one. So that is the selection that I have done so far. Obviously we have got the rest of the book to use up, so we will come back and we'll use up the rest of the book, and then that's, yay, whole thing off my desk, which seems pretty awesome. So yep, we will come back and we'll do something with these. So I hope that you feel inspired to maybe dig out some of your old papers, you know, use up some of your little paper pads. If you've got the 4x6, if you've got 6x6, you can always cut them down to like the 4x6 size, you know, and yeah, make some journal cards. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your leaving a comment in the chat below and a thumbs up for the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.